Howdy, y'all. I'm Cameron. I'm Andy's assistant coach in his coaching program. And today we're going to be talking about ethical non-monogamy and how I plan my lifestyle around dating multiple women and being honest with them about it. But specifically, I'm going to be talking from a position of someone who has handled the get laid part of their life, the how do I find girls, how do I have sex with them, how do I then retain them afterwards. I'm going to project forward for some of you because I think a lot of guys who watch Andy's channel, they're kind of newbies. Maybe they're getting into some of the deeper parts of like sex and relationships and finding women. And I want to make some content for guys who are trying to marry a lifestyle where they still get all the sex and the dating that they want, but into a lifestyle that's quite busy and active and has, a lot of stuff going on. Because Andy and I have both sort of moved beyond our hardcore get laid phase, to be honest, our hoe phase, as some people would call it. We usually recommend, or I recommend, that if you catch this memo, like you find this channel in your 20s, that at some point in your 20s, and don't worry if you catch it in your 30s, that's fine. You can make that time in there as well, where you make dating a priority. But I typically advise that's only for like a couple of years, if I'm being honest. And now there are maybe some hard case guys who like really struggle in the beginning and they want to extend it for a little bit longer. Perfectly fine. But at some point, you'll naturally just like move on from the times when you're dating like 4 new girls a week. That sort of level we're talking. Even the idea of dating like 2 new girls a week for a long period of time, that's quite a lot for me right now. Because dating is like at most my like 5th or 4th priority when it comes to like, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing on a monthly basis? And I want to project forward into what your lifestyle can be like and how you can plan your lifestyle when dating like falls down in priority, but you still want to build that ethically non-monogamous, multiple girls at one time lifestyle. Because I think a lot of guys think, oh, I need to get like a girlfriend at that point. If I'm trying to build a business or I'm trying to do something I've always wanted to do, trying to just move on to any sort of fun project or activity that you really want to do, where hardcore like dating all the time is going to be like a problem. Unless you're a dating coach, I don't see how you can really marry like the amount of dating volume that a new guy in his first couple of years will do and still find the time to do all the required stuff for like your business or whatever other project you're working on. Maybe you're going for like an athletic achievement or you're becoming a pro bodybuilder. I don't know. There are ideas. People are working on shit. Most of it usually is like a business though for a lot of guys in our community. So when it came to my own lifestyle design, I have adopted a method that I call blast and cruise. This is taken from like bodybuilding circles. Anyone who, knows will know what I mean by that. But not to delve into that too deeply. I stole this primarily from Caleb Jones, Black Dragon, shout out. He's both a mentor and inspiration to me and Andy, although we have changed a lot of his approaches to suit our own lives. I think Andy and I are both a lot more open and honest in our dating than Caleb is, but that's a side topic. But we both have found ourselves using a lot of his structures in terms of frameworks to build dating around a difficult and busy business life. And blast and cruise in an ethically non-monogamous framework very simply just means that you go on the dating apps or you go approaching in a really intense blast and you get yourself enough girls to retain that makes you happy, and then you just retain those girls for as long as you can. And then when those girls drop off, because attrition can happen, girls can leave the country, girls can find a boyfriend they want to settle down with who's serious. There's lots of reasons why girls can drop off. At that point, when you fall below a certain threshold, say you were dating 3 girls and that's your minimum, and then you lose 2 of them out of nowhere, that is when you would go on a blast again, where you would really hit the apps hard. The way I like to do this because it allows me to go like as hard as I used to, but back when I was first learning how to do this stuff. And there is a part of me that like misses those like crazy hectic days. And by doing blast and cruise style dating, I can just go really, really hard in a small period of time and kind of get that thrill back and that like enjoyment of doing a lot of volume. And also, volume is really important. Andy and I speak a lot about how it's a numbers game, and like finding quality girls that you're going to have a really good time with, like in terms of your sex, in terms of hanging out with them, and then finding the ones who are like easy to retain. It's going to take a fair amount of like screening and dating. Like I have to go on like a decent volume of dates to find really good candidates for, retaining them and moving forward. And also the girls have to be okay with ethical non-monogamy. That's an extra level of screening. There's just a fair amount of volume to go through to find like girls who are like what I want. And it would be a lot easier if I settled into like one monogamous relationship, I think, but I'm not really about that. Like at this point in my life, I really enjoy the benefits of ethical non-monogamy. So I'm willing to take these like times in the year aside to really blast the apps, maybe blast a bit of nighttime approaching. That's what I like to do. Maybe go through some social circle connections and just have a really focused sprint to the finish line to find a couple of girls that are worth retaining. At the moment, I'm seeing 3 different girls, and I've retained 2 of them for quite a while. I've been seeing one girl for like 8 months, 9 months, and another girl for about 4 months. And I'm currently seeing someone who's much newer, much fresher, but she seems to be a good candidate. If she were to drop off and I go down from seeing 3 girls down to 2 girls, at that point, I would probably still cruise. And then if I lost and one of the other 2, that's when I would probably blast again. 3 is like my upper limit, but I am okay with just seeing 2 girls at once who are both very solid, very reliable, and I enjoy spending time with them. That's like my minimum. Other guys, they have like, I think different minimums. Like I've heard guys who can't go below 3. A lot of like the E&M guys I speak to, because they think 3 is too close to 2 and 2 is too close to 1, which I think is a little bit like, in my mind, it's a little bit like paranoid. Like I don't expect to just suddenly end up at 0 really quickly unless something really badly goes wrong. But because you can screen for like long-term reliability. That's another point I want to make. Like if you're scared you're going to lose all of the girls you're seeing and you need like a certain number, that's going to have an impact on the amount of work you can do. Like seeing 4 girls at once is a lot of work in itself. Like actually just like, you know, I'd have to see them like every 2 weeks at most. You'd have to deprioritize certain girls and prioritize girls above them. You have to figure out, you know, when you're seeing them. As logistical considerations. And like for me, in terms of like energy and time, 3 is the max. I don't think there's a big risk of dropping from 3 to 0 personally, and I don't see it. Also, so I'm like with 0 for a little bit, you know what I mean? Then I'll just blast. I'll just go back on the apps and the approaches and blast until I can cruise again. It's not the biggest deal. I'm not like coming at it with like a scarcity mindset of, oh, I might lose everyone, you know? I am aware there's going to be a decent chunk of guys who watch this video like relatively confused, like basically looking at it like, why just don't you blast all the time? Why don't you find the time? And it's literally a case of, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to put more than 15 to 20% of my time in the week towards dating. I don't want to have to be on the apps for like half an hour to an hour a day, sending out messages, you know, swiping on Hinge. You have to send out a lot of messages. I don't want to be going out and doing like sets of approaches. I don't want to be using the nights on like Friday and Saturday nights to be going out to bars approaching. I actually, at this stage of my life, would rather spend them with the girls I'm already seeing or with my friends, and like more using them as like recuperation from the work I've been doing in the week. Because I'm doing, you know, Friday and Saturday, going out, socializing. There's a decent amount of relaxation, and that allows me to relax and chill, and it allows my recovery in terms of like recovering from a hard work in the week. And yeah, there's like, it's just a way I want to plan my lifestyle. Like you will pick up these skills, and when you have like the abundance of knowing you can always go out there and find women to sleep with and find women to form relationships with, you won't want to do it all the time. Typically, people who do want to do this all the time forever are kind of a rarity. Like even then, I'd say the most common thing you see is that guys pair up and go off and be monogamous. Those of us who stick with like non-monogamy are even a rarity in ourselves to some degree. I think it's way more of a common pattern to see a guy get really hardcore into this. He'll build a great online profile. He'll get pretty decent at approaching, at least to the point where he can do it. He can get dates and he can get laid from it. And in that first couple of years, he'll probably meet a girl that, you know, he decides that, hey, I want to give it a shot, committed monogamy. And myself and Andy, that never really happened for us. It didn't happen for Caleb Jones either. We decided that monogamy wasn't the right lifestyle for us. So we wanted to build something else. But even though I wanted to build something else, which always allows me to meet new women and date new women and sleep and retain, have relationships with new women, I don't want to be doing it like, I don't want to be meeting new girls like 4 times a week, even like say like twice a week, new girls or whatever like that. That's very much a blast phase for me. A blast phase for me would typically look like probably like 3 girls a week in terms of like new ones and dating them and, like screening and seeing if they're any like worth my time. I also employ a 2-date strategy these days because it allows me for a better amount of screening where I see them for one date fairly quickly, like an hour. And then the second date, I either invite them to mine or I go out again near mine and then I pull them back on the second date if we want to go ahead. And so, yeah, the whole process is a little bit more drawn out and takes more time and more energy and more effort. So, yeah, I want to have these like blast and cruise phases because then I can, put like 3 months out of the year towards where I push dating back up on the priorities and I can go out and do the volume that I think I need to do to find the girls that I want. And that's the way I like to plan my lifestyle. I just want guys who are like listening to this and being like, I don't know why I'd ever want to stop like sleeping with new women. I want to see like 4 new girls a week or that. I promise you, unless something is like, I guess, different about you, there will be a time when you want to back off. It's just natural. It's just based on everyone we've seen. And it usually comes when you get new priorities. It usually comes when you want to build something else. And like I said, the only real example I can think of is like actually dating coaches. Like the guys who kind of need to keep touching base with like modern dating. They need to keep going out on dates, meeting the girls because they know that they need to keep up to date with like if things change or if you think they want to try new things. Those are the exceptions. But beyond that, the majority of business owners I see, they end up getting like monogamous girlfriends. They end up settling down because they view that as the smarter option. And myself and Andy to a degree and Caleb have just decided that no, we can do this another way. We can build this third lifestyle design. And I've been very happy with it over the past couple of years. I've been very happy with like maintaining a level of abundance that through this. Like, so I always know I've got options. I know I'm seeing multiple girls at the same time. So if I have a bad moment with 1 or 2 of the girls or one of them cancels on me, I know I have the other one there if I need to talk to someone or I need them to come over. If I lose a girl, I know that I have another girl that I'm seeing, and I know that I can just blast again and go out and meet new girls. So I do think, for me at least right now, this is the best possible lifestyle design when it comes to marrying dating with all of the projects I'm building, which at the moment encompasses about 3 YouTube channels and the businesses behind those channels as well. I'm doing a fuck ton. And this is how I manage to, make everything work and blend together. It's not always perfect. Sometimes I fuck up and make mistakes in absolutely everything. You can make mistakes in dating. You can still make mistakes in business. I make a lot of mistakes in business. You can still make mistakes socially. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but the general framework of this lifestyle that I'm building and how I'm going through life makes me very happy, makes me very content. And I've been very, very happy with the way I've been dating, especially over the last year and a half, just by doing this approach where I allow myself to just cruise for a bit if I need it. And then I allow myself to blast again, go really hard on the apps, go really hard in dating if I feel like it and if that's something I know I want to do. And there have been moments in the year I'm like, I really get the itch to get back out there. I want to go on some dates. And so I just kind of, ride the waves. I wanted to end this video with a shout out to mine and Andy's coaching group. If you've ever seen any of these videos before, you've probably heard about it. We asked former members to come up with unique selling points. Like instead of us coming up with it ourselves to tell you, we asked our former members. And one of my favorite ones was this one from this guy where he talks about the importance of the Discord server that you end up in after your coaching ends. So you have 12 weeks of hardcore coaching with Andy and myself and other coaches helping you. And then for lifetime afterwards, you get access to a Discord group with all of Andy's past clients. And one of the guys said that this Discord group has been one of the most useful things for him. In part, it's because you get to see other guys achieving things around you, which you get in the group too. But then you get this lifetime Discord access full of guys who are all hardcore into self-improvement, have made a big commitment in, coming into the group with me and Andy in the first place. So it screens in very hardcore guys and you get to be in the group, seeing them achieving everything ahead of you. If they are ahead of you, you get to take inspiration from them. And this guy specifically said, because he's trying to make a lot of money, that's like one of his big things. He also wants to get laid more, have a better dating life. Seeing the guys in the Discord and in the group achieving that makes him realize that everything he wants is possible. And that's one of the best things he found in terms of a unique selling point. Access to the community of the most hardcore guys is what you will be guaranteed, and you will have that for the rest of your life, even after the coaching ends. So click the links down below if you're interested. I'd love to help you guys out. Peace.